today guest. So, and he will talk about on today topic digital body language and its importance. So, because as for this webinar, there is a registration and near about 78 people have registered. So maybe later on more people have joined. So we'll start this session. And before we'll start the session, I will give a brief introduction about Dr. Dheeraj Malhotra, sir. So Dr. Dheeraj Malhotra is a principal of Cover Global School and with a distinguished academic background, including in PhD in Education Management honoris cause, and he also a white and yellow belt in Six Sigma. Dr. Mehrotra is a renowned education innovator and author. His expertise spans areas such as Six Sigma in education, neuro-linguistic programming, total quality management in education, and many more. So, with a rich teaching career spanning over 2 decades, Dr. Mehrotra has held significant leadership roles, serving as a former principal at STEAM institutions such as the Indian Public School, New Delhi, NPS International School, Guwahati, and he has also been honored with a prestigious award, including the President of India's National Teacher Award and the Best Science Teacher State Award. So, sir, having such a Nigan profile. So, Dr. Malhotra also contribute extend beyond traditional education as he has developed over 150 free educational mobile apps for teachers, students, and parents, earning recognition in the Limca Book of Records and India Book of Record as well. As a principal at Kumar Global School, Lucknow, and a TEDx speaker, he continued to inspire excellence in education through workshops, lectures, and innovative teaching methodologies. So, as a premium Udmim instructor, Dr. Mehrotra has crafted over 450 courses, impacting more than 8 lakh students from 180 countries. So, his commitment to education and online learning is truly commendable. So, as this is a brief introduction about Dr. Dheeraj Malhotra.
Okay, I think Renu ma'am is a bit off the line, and I take this opportunity to first of all welcome all the wonderful participants on behalf of Lucknow Management Association, and also at the
Because of
same time we look forward to. Yeah, ma'am, we have taken it over, so I'm starting off now.
because of some technical
Yeah, thank you. No worries, no worries. Yeah. So I take this opportunity also to thank Lucknow Management Association for inviting me at this webinar and looking forward to having taking back some information and guidelines related to digital body language. Friends, the term digital body language refers to the cues, the signals, and expressions people convey in digital communication. And it includes elements like use of emojis, punctuation, response time, and the tone in written messages, providing insight into a person's emotions and intentions online. Particularly, understanding digital body language is crucial for effective communication in the digital age. So, friends, today we look forward to sharing these ideas and particularly the very concept of digital communication, punctuation, and even the use of uppercase letters and even the choice of words can convey subtle nuances over cyber communication or the cyber based communication. And that's what I just reflected the use of emoticons, emojis, add emotional context, while response time and message length can indicate engagement levels. And when we are there today, in fact, my body language would be more through comments and the communication I make which helps in interpreting and responding appropriately in various online interactions. So now I'll just share my presentation if it reflect to the ideas and the level we are going to be approaching in order to understand that very concept. And the idea here rolls and reflects about the very identity of how I'm going to make it possible. So, friends, if you can see the screen, it talks about the reflective notion. It also implicates about how and what way I'm going to be ideating the whole concept. So I hope the screen is clear with everyone. I have switched off my camera because
Yes,
I
yes.
want you people to observe these slides. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So the digital body language, as we can see that in the picture itself, people are eyeing at their devices with different expressions. And these expressions relate to the communication and the very ability to convince the person they are addressed to. And for that reason, when I reflect on this identity, the roots of digital body language is in data. As Steve Woods explains, who developed the term back in 2009, the digital body language is the aggregate of all the digital activities we see from an individual. And for that reason, even I've compiled a book, Digital Body Language, available on Amazon. That's the cover page of the book, just for an idea. And the reflective message explains about our routined attribute, about what way, how can reflect on my observation, my way of using the machines, operating on those machines, and reflecting the very measure of how I'm going to activate the learning, the communication, and the usage of these tools in a big way. Friends,
Ever considered how your digital interactions might be perceived by others? Is it possible that your emails, texts, or even emojis could be misunderstood? In the digital era we inhabit, our communication is increasingly moving away from the physical and into the virtual. We're not just talking about emails and texts, it's video calls, social media, online chats. The list goes on. Yet as we navigate these digital waters, we're confronted with a conundrum. The absence of physical cues, the subtle nuances of face-to-face interactions, can lead to misinterpretations, misunderstandings, and even conflicts. These issues underscore the importance of something you might not have considered before: digital body language. It's the tone of your email, the timing of your replies, the emojis you choose to use. It's how we adapt our communication to ensure clarity and prevent miscommunication in a world where our words are often all we have to make an impression. Just as in real life, our digital interactions also need a body language, a digital body language. Consider this scenario. A professional sends a terse, brief email to a colleague. The recipient interprets this as rudeness and responds defensively. What went wrong in this case? The sender's message was brief and to the point. But without any cues to indicate tone or intention, the recipient interpreted it as curt and unfriendly. Now you might be wondering, why did this misunderstanding occur? The answer lies in the absence of digital body language. In face-to-face communication, we rely heavily on non-verbal cues like facial expressions, body posture, and tone of voice to understand the speaker's intention. But in digital communication, these physical cues are absent. Hence, the necessity for digital body language, the use of punctuation, emojis, tone, and timing to convey our intentions and emotions in digital communications. So, where did our professional go wrong? The email was devoid of any digital body language. It was terse, without any personal touch or tone indicators. This lack of digital body language left room for misinterpretation, causing the recipient to perceive it as rude. Now let's imagine a different outcome. What if our professional had used effective digital body language? Instead of a brief, impersonal email, They could have started with a friendly greeting, used a softer tone, and included a polite sign-off. They could have used an emoji or two to lighten the tone, or added some punctuation to show enthusiasm or sincerity. This use of digital body language would have likely conveyed the intended message without causing offense. Remember, in the digital world, our words are our body language. They represent us and our intentions. By being aware of how we present ourselves digitally, we can ensure our messages are understood as intended, preventing unnecessary conflicts and misunderstandings. Had our professional used effective digital body language, this misunderstanding might have been avoided. Digital body language is not an innate skill, rather, it is something we learn and master over time. Just like face-to-face communication, digital communication has its own nuances and subtleties. The key to mastering digital body language lies in understanding these nuances and using them to create clear, effective messages. So how do we do that? Let's break it down. Firstly, consider the tone of your messages. The tone is like the emotional undercurrent of your communication. It conveys your attitude and emotions towards the recipient. To master tone, try to put yourself in the recipient's shoes. How would you feel reading your message? If it's not the reaction you're after, consider revising your message. Next, let's talk about timing. Timing in digital communication is about more than just when you send a message. It's about giving your message the right pace and rhythm. Timing can influence how your message is received. For example, a rapid-fire series of messages can seem aggressive, while a delay in response can be interpreted as disinterest or neglect. Strive for a balance that respects the recipient's time, while also conveying your message effectively. Formatting is another crucial element of digital body language. Formatting can help you structure your message more effectively, making it easier for the recipient to understand. Use bullet points, numbered lists, or paragraph breaks to organize your thoughts. Be cautious with the use of all caps, bold, italics, and underlining, as they can easily be misinterpreted as shouting or emphasis. Lastly, always remember that digital communication is a reflection of your professional persona. Each message you send, each comment you post, each email you draft, is a part of the digital persona you are building. Be mindful of this as you interact in the digital world. In a digital world, understanding and utilizing digital body language can make the difference between successful communication and misunderstood messages. After all, effective communication is not just about what you say, but also about how you say it. So let's get out there and master our digital body language. Source:
Okay, so
Digital
this
Body
was
Language by
just an
Dr. Dheeraj
introduction. When we
Mehrotra.
talk about digital body language, it is just like you're not tracking any physical behavior, but online interaction patterns and your online body language. Particularly, it is how a user behaves or interacts on a page. We can assume like how they feel, or you can interact that data from clicks, the time on the page, the number of times you have been refreshing things, and also very politely we can understand about how the tracking of these online behaviors can get you close as it gets to the physical body language. The extraction of that data from clicks to the time on the page, the scroll, the number of times we do the refresh, and that is what is the connect we understand about pondering over. Also, how many times did you have a negative reaction to an email? That particularly enhances our understanding. And when we feel so, that reflects on the identity and the very purpose of it. And when we say that, we mean to that reflective ideas. And now, the digital body language is the new head and the cues about what is happening around us with our reflective measure. The idea to ponder over responses we receive over email, the timings of the email we receive, the use of the comma, the closing and the ending of an email or a message matters the most. And that reflects on this very identity about how do we make a priority through our messages delivering the digital body cues through explanation marks, the periods, that is the dot, the question marks, the emoji, and to the approach. And that comes to the very simple one is the explanation mark. One single explanation mark refers the basic human warmth. Of course, the second one, the two in enclosure, talks about the excitement, talks about the excitement. And then, of course, the three one is the enthusiasm. The usage of three explanation marks is the enthusiasm. And then, above all, when we talk about the four ones, at times we do it unconsciously, and that comes about the giddiness, the sarcasm, the wit, and the anger. And then, of course, there's a usage of question mark as well. We tend to do it again unconsciously. You can do it consciously now about an honest question or a genuine interest. Was the best time to call you, or was the time to be with you? And that's single question mark. Then, of course, second one, the use of the two question marks actually talks about confusion. What do you mean by this? What do you mean by this mail? What do you mean saying this to me? And that approach hammers to that very connect. Then question mark done thrice talks about frustration. I don't understand you at all, and I get frustrated out of it. So this type of an expression can be expressed using the three question mark in particular. Also, friends, when we talk about this scenario, there's an anger mechanism as well. What are you getting at? The four question marks, and this refers to that idea how the angry symbol, which comes as a part of an emoticon as well. So this refers to one of the receipts of the language in Connect. Then, of course, usage of thanking, thanks a lot. You make this smiley, and then smiley is just, but there is another way of saying thanks as well when you are expressing your anger. So this is a representation of an anger with a very, very simple way of dosing with a thanks a lot mechanism. And then, of course, when we talk about this, we also reflect on happiness quotient, which relates to single emotive. And then the three ones talks about excitement, the extra happiness, if you want to deliver and showcase, that goes with the purpose. Also, friends, the priority is building your digital presence, create articles, publish newsletters, and get the unlimited content to share. So that comes as a part of your digital body language. How digitally connected you are with the world. And somebody tends to figure out through Googling you. So are you there or you're not there? So that is an add-on you have to work on with the reflective measure.
Well, friends, building your digital presence exhibits a priority, and that we call it the online reputation management, the reference, the ORM, and the very productivity is enriched through the creation of your articles, publishing of newsletters, exploring the unlimited content, and making your presence felt through the Google count is a priority. And this talks a lot about your digital platform, the digital body language, and the reference for it explores the interaction and the gesture you and your friends have when they interact, get to know about you from the offline or the online or the essence with their Google count and the Google search, and getting them on their window, on their screen, is a privilege both for you and for them. Well, When we talk about the digital body language with reference to your digital presence, it exhibits your personality, and of course, it explores the digital equivalence online about measuring your digital presence, and it benchmarks on user sentiments at scale with
Well, we need to ponder over whom we CC or BCC, ideally representing and igniting to the connect, also talks about what we are doing, what we tend to do, whether we should plan a carbon copy or a blank carbon copy or send to myself as well, because at times I'm in the habit of deleting all my or all my sent in particular. So that has to be ideated as well as a part of your planning, as a part of your connect, as a part of your programming. And that references to the very identity of how I'm going to connect with my audience through the very process of my digital presence, which speaks of my body language, which also shares the connectivity, which also reflects about my communication using the punctuation, use of, as I had informed earlier, about the emoticons, the emojis, which add emotional content to my messages, mails. And of course, while the response time and the message length can indicate engagement levels, being mindful of these cues help us understand about responding appropriately in various online interactions. ORM, which talks about online reputation management, also refers how good I am at my digital body language, how perfect I am with my connect with the audience, and of course, how best uh, to explore this, which comes to my response to my visit. And the very concept of digital aspect of working, content download, the social media touches, how do I respond, and how do I connect with my work and to the work of others? Well, there can be an approach, there can be an initiative about how I browse. It not only signifies the online communication cues, but it also tells about expressing emotions in the text, signing up for a webinar like this, downloading an ebook, sharing a blog post, the use of explanation marks and other characters, as we figured in the opening slides. The speed at which someone replies can signal interest or the urgency. And above all, the overall style and the language used in the written communication. The use of abbreviations, shorten, of course, the short forms, the acronyms, can convey informality or familiarity. Then, of course, the digital etiquette, following proper online etiquette and norms in different platforms. Then, of course, formatting choices, whether it's bold, italic, underlining, can emphasize certain points, which reflects on being attuned to these aspects, help us navigate the nuances of digital communication effectively. Not only this, friends, when we talk about using the purpose, there is a term which is known as SE, which means search engine optimization. That search engine optimization means of digital attributes that reflects an idea, that reflects about the very structure, about the very reflective measure on the idea. And that idea is not only getting to understand, but also sharing the visual content for humor, emphasis, or expression. Then use of hashtags. We are very, very happy utilizing and giving our comments on social media. We also have a hashtag system where we tend to reflect so many words and phrases using the hashtags.
using them for categorization, trends, or to convey a specific message actually reflects our idea about being IT friendly and, of course, street smart. And then in addition, we also tend to reflect on sharing the media, which can be in the form of sharing photos, uh, videos, or links to convey with additional context or information. Not only this, my dear friends, digital body language relates to responding to messages with reactions like hearts in messaging platforms. Then, of course, posting frequency and actively leveling on social media can indicate the engagement. The choices in adjusting privacy settings on social platforms reflect personal boundaries. Now, it's not easy for anybody, to have an access to the social media platforms of anybody. You may put in some filler, some protection, or make it for your connects or friends of friends or something like that. So there are various uh, security levels which we need to follow and explore. Also, adapting language based on the platform, more formal on email, casual on social media. This is what we tend to make. We tend to upload pictures of party, of our entertainment family, probably on Facebook, but we might think twice before doing it on LinkedIn, probably, or sending it through mail. So that is a psycho relief which we tend to reflect, and each of these factors contributes to the overall digital communication landscape. And that reflects on how we are best connected through this body language capsule and module. And the use of the digital body language tends to reflect about how I'm connected uh, with the world and reflecting the idea. The use also tends to reflect in particular about how we are going to be dealing, how we are going to be responding with the very approach. Friends, work the talk online. It takes time, but yes, you can do it. There are offices who tend to reflect on work from home with all measures, utilizing the best of the body language, the excellent format of the body language being made available. And work culture reflects on the very idea about how these things have been oriented and captured. The virtual collaboration using online platforms for teamwork and the project management also reflects like how frequent are you connecting with webinars and how frequently are you reaching before time, at that particular platform, and how flexible you are with coffee breaks and the remote work flexible schedules to accommodate the diverse needs, how digitally communicative, effective you are through messaging apps, the video conferencing for effective communication. What's your digital etiquette? Adhering to proper online etiquette in professional communications, how far you are dealing and exposed to that. Tech-savvy approaches also reflect on embracing technology for streamlined workforce to enhance the productivity. The internet is the perfect medium, no doubt about it. And understanding and adopting to these aspects is crucial for thriving in the evolving landscape of work culture. And this not only defines that approach, but also aligns to the office culture of any workspace. To this work culture will depend and will entirely depend on the power of communication. And when we say that, we reflect on how best I'm going to be using the tech proficiency, staying updated on digital tools relevant to the industry. And friends, there is also one feature which connects on the organic search as the perfect channel with what way I'm going to be doing and defining with the embracing change and the new technologies to stay agile in the very workplace. So, of course, there are ways and means in order to win to this organic search. We need to innovate, dedicate, educate, and accommodate, being a perfect blender for the online and the offline work culture. And that type of a spectrum defines this as a routine message to all around. The need to enhance our effective digital body language is a priority. And friends, this priority defines with few reasons to align this with the digital work culture. We tend to consider the aspects which relate to tech proficiency, the adaptability, the effective communication, the remote collaboration, the time management, the digital presence, and finally, something to do with continuous learning. And that is what we see among all of us who have tied up today for this particular learning platform. Respond carefully to digital messages, that goes without saying, and be empathetic in replying and responding to the mails, the messages, if you want to be contributing well to that spectrum. Effective communication, as I just shared, you have to master the nuances of digital communication to convey ideas clearly. Not only this, friends, you need to develop skills for successful collaboration in virtual environments. You need to navigate flexible schedules with effective time management strategies being online. It's just not like sitting on a sofa and sipping a cup of coffee, particularly at times of coffee with the machine. Not at all. It is something like cultivating a professional online presence and utilizing the platforms for networking. We have seen that during the COVID days, and still the world remained the world without going out of the portals of the houses. There were business happening, there were production happening, and the economy was met to deliver. Of course, finally, as a part of a continuous learner, we need to stay curious and engaged in our ongoing learning activities to keep our skills relevant with that very perfection. Friends, the digital body language also offers an extraordinary communication skill over the internet by using the podcast, the images, the video sharing as a priority. We have seen that assuming the best intent when communicating online. We should not be just dependent on physically, we are not there with him, we can say anything. Come on. It's high time that we are using the power of communication and the machine to specify very adoption of digital presence. And henceforth, I repeat, cultivating a professional online presence and utilizing platforms for networking, defining and staying curious and engaged in ongoing learning to keep our skills relevant. And of course, focusing on these areas, you can thrive in the dynamic landscape of digital work culture. Well, the idea is how info-friendly it is, how friendly it is, or how work-friendly it is. Well, it obviously is. It obviously is. And we have to make it possible to double that standard, the quality, which talks about remote work options. Flexible schedules contribute to a more work-friendly environment. It also talks about efficient use of digital communication tools, enhancing collaboration and connectivity. Well, friends, when we talk about digital body language, it reflects your communication with the ultimate use of emoticons. Companies with supportive policies come out just to have an ease and humor, the comfort using these emoticons as a priority towards communicating with their employees. And that becomes the work culture because of the respective body language of maybe the HR head, maybe the boss around with supervisors, people working around. So that reflects on your profile picture, should be professional and show the real you, reflecting what you do and who you are. This is again ideated to present the best way forward using inclusivity, which is very important, a culture that values diversity and inclusivity, fostering a positive and work-friendly atmosphere. Not only this, friends, the technology infrastructure, which means about reliable and user-friendly digital infrastructure, which is crucial for seamless work operations. The regular feedback and the recognition facilitated through digital channels contribute to a positive work culture. Well, friends, when we talk about positive work culture, we refer to the ideas, we refer to the reflective measures, we reflect to every drop off, slip, click, share. These actions bring out eye rolls and even eyeballs to reflect and connect with the very references. The digital body language, friends, ideates on actions, personality, and the data. Above all, the ideation also reflects on how connected we are and how responsive we are. The difference between connectivity and response is highly standardized by the connect we make with the people around through all media, and assuring positive body language reflects on the idea about searching, sharing, browsing, podcasting, social media posting, digital presence, the page visits, the web visits, the downloading, the uploading, the commenting, everything, covers with the very referencing of digital body language. And that sharing, anything we do has to have a coverage of how we do it and how best we can do it. And at the same time, I would figure about a term here, digital minimalism. And that digital minimalism is like how much is good enough to do. Like you're sitting on your social media platform and just browsing, scrolling up and down. How much is good enough to work on? And that's what is digital minimalism, which actually defines about your digital body language connect. We are pioneering Zoom fatigue, of course, not now, but yes, of course, during the COVID days, we saw every day there was a Zoom link being shared in our WhatsApp for this, for that, and that probably was a fatigue which gradually came as a habit because there was no second option to it. So connecting for our preschoolers to our great grandparents virtually, actually, it happened. The body-brain connection, our shoulders, upper body movement helped us connect virtually. And of course, the legs were on the floor and it was very much like being at home. But for sure, a physical break helped overcoming the fatigues, head, shoulders, and of course, knees and the toes. And that came out to as a part of the body language in approach to it. Friends, let us productively embrace Zoom via our positive body language virtually that we did. And finally, your social media behavior counts along on your digital body language. So that way, how much you're connected to, how long you're connected to, and above all, when and why, about in what format you're connected to, has to be dealt with a priority. And that priority figures with the understanding about this reference. So with this, I just wanted to thank you all and would pose for some questions, if any, about this very topic of digital body language. And once again, I want to thank LMA for initiating this wonderful topic on the idea and the mechanism about how we should be well versed about this topic, that is digital body language, which is unconsciously a ready reckoner to be exercised every moment we are before the computer, and utilizing the tool, whether it is using the mobile phones or the laptops or the desktops or any other digital device in particular. So that's from my end. Over to Renu ma'am, if you're there for questions. Invite people.
Thank you, Dr. Mehta.
Yeah.
Anybody got any question? I think it's a very vibrant topic, and we must have a lot of questions because there are lot many confusion we are having in today's digital scenario, or we can call it digital world. So I am expecting a lot of questions from the participants. You can ask the question from Dr. Malhotra.
Or you can write in the chat window itself, just in case.
I think nobody got any question. So, on behalf of LMA and Convert Global School, I would like to. Just a second.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Just a second. My language has been changed. Again, what is the digital problem? It has been changed to Portuguese.
Oh my God.
Where is this English? Okay. So, on behalf of LMA and Convert Global School, I would like to thank Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra for this excellent talk. And in fact, this is a very live topic, and especially for people, those who had crossed 50, for them, this digital word is you can say, a very new thing for them, and they are not that technical savvy and don't know the language of digital world. And as we all are aware that in any conversation, that body language plays a very important role. And non-verbal communication is, you can see with the person when you are talking one-to-one, face-to-face. But in digital scenario where your person whom you are talking is not visible, or you are not able to see him, in that case, this digital etiquettes and knowledge comes very handy, because we are not able to see what his actual meaning is. What is coming in writing, we can only assess the mindset of that person from that words, or we can say the sentence. So, in fact, Dr. Malhotra has given a very deep insight and a very well explained things, how to go about it, and we all should follow this thing very meticulously. So our digital communication should improve, and it should not give a wrong message. And it at least not wrong, which I will say, it will at least give the correct message which we are trying to forward. And again, I would like to thank all the participants for participating in this webinar. And I will like Dr. Malhotra to conduct such more classes on this topic, because this is the topic of the day. And again, on behalf of LMA and from all participants, we like to thank Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra for this excellent talk. Thank you, Dr. Malhotra.
Thank you,
I'll
sir.
also add a few words.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Mehrotra, for sparing your time for this webinar. And we look forward to more such programs. As Colonel Samir Mishra said, I would like Renu, are you there?
No, she's not there.
Oh, there's another program on Saturday at 4:30. I'll check the subject, and I would very much like that all of you join that. Wait a minute, I'll look at the schedule, and because there is another. Today is
Today's 13th, sir.
when is the next one?
I'm here, sir. It is on 30th January next Saturday. Sorry,
Huh.
20th January. 20th January.
20th January. What's the subject?
It's understanding Chat GPT, excellencing at workplace.
Oh, I think I'm sure everyone would be interested in knowing how Chat GPT works. And I would invite all of you to join and ask other friends also to join the next session that is on 20th, isn't it?
Yeah.
20th at 4:30. You will get the link in time. Huh? So everyone appears to be interested. Huh? I can see in the chat box. So thank you, Dheeraj, for your time, and hope to see you next week.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
आंटी आंटी लग रहा है सो गई।